Good morning, my dear students of grade 7. I hope you all are fine. So, today we are going to take our last lecture of biology. We will finish, inshallah, our course today. I am your teacher Aruj Tarek, and our course is Cambridge Checkpoint Science 7. So, today is our last lecture for biology, and our topic for today is classifying invertebrates. So, what is the meaning of classifying? For example, if I give you a lot of cups and I tell you that divide these cups. Okay, classify means divide. How you will divide the cups? For example, you divide them on the basis of color. You keep the red ones on one side, you keep blue ones on the other side, you separate the white ones. Okay, so you separate the cups on the basis of their color. So I will say that you are classifying the cups. So classifying means divide something into category, or classifying something into different categories. So I will tell you that what are invertebrates. So classification of invertebrates. Invertebrates are animals without backbone. Okay, vertebrates are animals with backbone, but invertebrates are animals without backbone. If you touch your back at the center, you can feel a long bone at the center of your back. This is your backbone. Okay, so invertebrates are animals without backbones. They don't have any backbone. Okay, so there are many different groups of invertebrates, but some of them are described here. Okay, so there are a lot of groups, but we will describe some of them. Number 1, mollusks. Number 2, annelids. And number 3, arthropods. We will discuss them one by one. Okay, mollusks. Mollusks are animals with soft body. Okay, they have very soft body. They have muscular foot which they use to move around. Okay, just let me finish this slide. I will explain each of them with the help of pictures. Okay, but just remember the animals that mollusks have soft body and they have a muscular foot which they use to move. Okay, and some mollusks have shells. Slugs, snails, and octopus are some examples of mollusks. Okay, now number 1 point, that mollusks are animals with soft body. Okay, have you ever seen a snail? Okay, look at the body. Its body is very meaty. It is made up of meat. It is very soft. Okay, number 2 point, they have muscular foot which they use to move around. Okay, can you see that there is a muscular foot? I've labeled the muscular foot which secretes slime and moves the snail along. So this muscular foot helps the mollusks to move. Okay, then third point, that they have shells. Can you see that there is a shell? Okay, there is a shell which is used for protection. There is an eye on the tentacle, and there is the tentacle which feels as the snail move. Okay, so here mollusks are animals with soft body. Okay, you have seen that they have very soft body in the picture. They have muscular foot. You have seen the muscular foot which they use to move around. Okay, some mollusks have shell. You have seen the snail. The snail has a shell. And slugs, snails, octopus, These all are mollusks. Here in this picture, see, there is a slug, there is a snail, there is an octopus, then cuttlefish, oyster, squid, mussel, scallop, snail, limpet, octopus, nautilus, clam, winkle. These all are the types of mollusks. Okay, and this picture is showing you a shell, a muscular foot, an eye, and a tentacle. And what does a tentacle do? Tentacle feels the thing when the mollusks move. Okay, so this is all about mollusks, that they have soft body, they have a muscular foot, and they have shells. Okay, so now we will proceed toward our second class of invertebrates, that is annelids. Annelids are worms with bodies divided up into rings called segments. Okay, have you seen ever a ring? A bracelet. Okay, ring like a bracelet. Okay, so the body of the annelids are divided into in the form of rings, and these rings, each ring is called a segment. Okay, they don't have legs, just like snakes. They don't have legs. Number 3, they have tiny bristles called chaetae. Okay, and earthworms is an example of annelids. Okay, let me explain one by one. Annelids are worms with bodies divided up into rings called segments. Let me show you the segments. Okay, can you see that there are rings on the body of the earthworm? Lines, there are a lot of lines on the body of the earthworm. Okay, these, each line, okay, this is a segment. Okay, that's why we were saying that its body is divided into rings, and each ring is called a segment. Here it is the segmented body of earthworm. Okay, then the next point was they don't have legs. You have seen they don't have any legs. Okay, they have tiny bristles called chaetae. I will show you a picture. Okay, look, this is the upside down of an earthworm. Okay, just like earthworm is laying around on its back. Okay, then on the bottom, you can say that on the bottom of an earthworm, okay, this, okay, this earthworm, on the bottom of this earthworm, the bottom of this earthworm is like this. Okay, can you see the small hair like structures? These are called chaetae. What these chaetae do, they anchor the earthworm. Anchor means they grab. Okay, they grab the soil, or they hold. Okay, anchor means hold. They hold the earthworm while it pushes itself forward. Have you ever seen how an earthworm move? It don't have any legs. Okay, earthworms don't have any legs. They move with the help of their body, and what they do, they hold with the help of chaetae. They move forward, they leave the chaetae, then the chaetae hold again forward, and then they move again. Okay, this is how an earthworm move. I will send you a video which will show that how the earthworm will move, and then this point will be more clear to you. Okay, so we will revise annelids. This topic is very easy. Annelids are worms with bodies divided up into rings called segments. Okay, they don't have legs, and they have tiny bristles called chaetae. And one of the example of annelids is earthworm. Simple. Next, arthropods, the third class of invertebrates. Sorry. Okay. Arthropods are invertebrates with jointed legs. Okay, I will show you what is the meaning of jointed legs in the later slides. Okay, their bodies are divided into segments just like earthworms. Okay, arthropods have skeleton on the outside of their body called exoskeleton. You know, skeleton is inside our body. But in the case of arthropods, their skeleton is outside of their body, which is called exoskeleton. Exo means outside. Okay, so they have exoskeleton outside their body. Okay, there are several different groups of arthropods. Number one, insects that you see in your daily life, for example, ant. Number two, arachnids. Number three, crustacean. And number four, myriapods. I know the names are a little difficult for you, but if you repeat them again and again, you will remember them. Okay, so starting with the first point, annelids are invertebrates with jointed leg. Okay, keep in your mind an ant. You have seen an ant, right? Okay, I will try to draw an ant. Okay, maybe a little like this. Okay, take it as an ant. Okay, have you ever seen that ant has, if the ant has two parts of the body, this one and this one, it will have one leg here, one leg here, and one leg here and one leg here. Okay, so they have two legs on one segment. So this is called jointed legs, which means they have two legs side by side. For example, if this is a segment, an ant will have two legs, one on this side, one on this side. These are called jointed legs. Okay, their bodies are divided into segments. Have you ever seen an ant? An ant have 2 to 3 segments of the body. You can clearly see that its body is divided. First it's like this, then like this, then like this. Okay, its body is divided into segments. And outside it's very hard. The black color, if you have touched an ant, it's very hard on the outside. Why? Because its skeleton is on the outside. Skeleton is always tough because it means to protect the body. So exoskeleton is outside their body. Their skeleton is outside their body. And there are several different group of arthropods. Number one, insects, arachnids, crustacean and myriapods. We will discuss all of them one by one. Okay. First of all, insects. Keep in mind an ant. Okay. Insects are arthropods with 6 joined legs. Okay. Their bodies are divided into 3 parts: head, thorax and abdomen. Each of these parts are made up of several segments. Most insects have 2 pairs of wings attached to thorax. For example, cockroach. Have you ever seen a cockroach? The cockroach has wings, and these wings are attached to the thorax. I will explain these. Their legs are also attached to the thorax, and they have 1 pair of antennae on their head. Okay, let's start with the first point. Insects are arthropods with 6 jointed legs. Okay. Here is an ant. Can you see how many legs it has? Okay, first let me circle. Okay, now can you see how many pair of legs it has? It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 jointed legs, right? So insects. Insects, that is ant. Ant has 6 jointed legs. Okay, then their bodies are divided into 3 parts: head, thorax and abdomen. Okay, see in this picture there is labeling. You can see the head, then there is thorax, that is the neck region, that is thorax, and then the body, it's called abdomen. Okay, can you see the segments? Okay, if you can see, I have labeled that there are segments. Okay, then there are 2 pair of wings, okay, and 3 pairs of jointed legs. Okay, so have you seen head, thorax, abdomen? Okay, that is the second point. Now you can see the head, thorax is the neck region, and then the body is called abdomen. Okay, then third point, each of these parts are made up of several segments. Of course, okay. For example, neck may have, okay, in this picture you can see how many segments the neck has. I can see 3. Okay, there are 3 segments in the thorax region. Where I have labeled thorax, you can see that there are 3 segments in the thorax. Okay, so third point, that each of these parts are made up of several segments. Number 4, most insects have 2 pair of wings attached to thorax. Look, in this picture, you can see that there are 2 pair of wings. Okay, and you can see that these wings are attached to the thorax here. Okay, and the legs are also attached to thorax. Here, see the legs. Okay, the legs are attached to the thorax. If you can see where is thorax, you can see that the legs are attached to the thorax. And last point, that they have 1 pair of antenna. Okay, I have labeled 1 pair of antenna. Okay, I will explain again. 1 second. I will explain with the help of this marker. Insects are arthropods with 6 joined legs, right? Here in this picture, you can see that there are 6 pair of legs of an ant, right? Okay, then the second point, that their bodies are divided into 3 parts: head, thorax and abdomen. Okay, head, thorax, abdomen. Okay, now can you see there are 3 parts? Number 1, head, number 2, thorax, and then at the bottom there is abdomen. So their bodies are divided into 3 parts: head, thorax, abdomen. Number 3, each of these parts are made up of several segments. Okay, each of these parts, for example, head, thorax, abdomen, all have different segments. Okay, now can you see that there are 3 segments in the thorax, right? And if you see the abdomen, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can see that there are 10 segments in the abdomen. Okay, so it proves our third point, that each of these parts are made up of several segments. Next, most insects have 2 pair of wings attached to thorax. Okay, 2 pairs means it has 4 wings, right? 2 pair, 1 pair has 2 things. For example, your shoes is a pair, you have a pair of shoes, so it will have 2 shoes. So 2 pair of wings means it has 4 wings which are attached to thorax. See in this picture. Here, if you can see the thorax, you can see that the wings are attached to the thorax. It's very clear in the diagram that the wings are attached to the thorax. So this proves our point number 4. Now point number 5, the legs are also attached to thorax. Here in this picture it's more clear. You can see head, then thorax, then abdomen. In the head, in the thorax, you can see that all the 6 legs are attached to the thorax, and on the head you can see that there are 2 antennas. These are not legs, these are antennas, which proves our last point, that they have one pair of antenna on their head. So in both the pictures, you can see, in this picture you can see that there is a pair of antenna, and in this picture you can also see that there is a pair of antenna on their head. Okay, so I hope that this is clear. They have 6 joint legs, they have head, thorax and abdomen. The head, thorax and abdomen are divided into several segments, and they have 2 pair of wings. They have 4 wings attached to the thorax, and legs are also attached to the thorax, and they have 1 pair of antenna on their head. Okay, this picture is showing you insect. This picture, these are the type of arthropods. Okay, sorry, these are the types of invertebrates. Okay, not the insects. Okay, next, arachnids. Arachnids, keep in mind a spider. Okay, arachnids are arthropods with 8 joined legs. So a spider, it has 8 legs. Then they don't have wings or antenna. You have seen a spider? If you have ever seen a spider, you know it doesn't have wings, it doesn't have an antenna. Okay, spiders and scorpions are arthropods. Okay, this is a scorpion and this is a spider. Okay, number 1 point was the arachnids are arthropods with 8 joint legs. See in this picture. Okay, in this picture, okay, let's see in this. How many legs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So arthropods have, arachnids have 8 legs. Okay. Number 2 point, they don't have wings or antenna. You can see in this picture that there is no wings, there are no wings and there are no antenna. Its head, it doesn't have any antenna. Scorpio, it doesn't have any antenna. Okay. Then scorpions and spiders are arachnids. Okay. Now we'll proceed toward our third type of arthropods, that is crustacean. Okay, what you will keep in mind. Okay, see, maybe you have seen a lobster. Okay, this is a lobster. Okay, it is like just like scorpion, but a little different. Okay, because it has claws. Can you see the hands here? Can you see the hands here? It has claws. Okay. Okay, so keep in mind the lobster. Now we will study the crustacean. Okay, these are arthropods with tough skeleton, right? They have very tough skeleton. When you touch them, they are very hard, which means they have very tough skeleton, exoskeleton. Okay, they have more than 4 pair of joined legs. Okay, so they have more than 4 pairs of joined legs, which means they will have 4 pairs means 8, so they will have more than 8 legs. Okay, and they have 2 pairs of antenna, which means they have 4 antennas. Okay, lobster, water fleas and wood lice, these are some examples of crustaceans. Look, this is a lobster. Okay, we'll start with the first point, that they have very tough skeleton, right? Okay, the diagram is also showing you that if you touch them, they will be very hard because they have very tough skeleton. Number 2 point, they have more than 4 pairs of joined legs. Okay, okay, this picture, in this picture, okay, water flea. Can you see the legs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I can see 14 legs here. So it has 7 pairs of wings. So I can see that water flea has 7 pair of legs, which is 14. So this proves our point number, where is it? Which proves our second point, that they have more than 4 pair of joined legs. So they have more than 4, which means they in the case of water flea, they have 7 pair of joint legs. Okay, next, they have 2 pair of antennas, right? Okay, look, in the case of lobster, you can see, okay, change the color. Okay, look, in the case of lobster, I've circled. You can see 2 antennas here and then 2 antennas in the other circle. So it has 2 pair of antennas, which means they have 4 antennas, right? Lobster, water flea and wood lice are crustaceans. Here, this is a lobster. Okay, this is a water flea. Okay, this is a water flea and this is a wood lice. Okay, okay, now types of, okay, one second, this is not type of crustacean, let me correct this. Okay, in this picture you can see that this is a lobster. This has more than 4 pair of legs. It has a very hard exoskeleton. It has 2 pair of wings. This picture is from your book and it is showing all the parts labeled. So this is all about crustacean, and our last class of insects is myriapods. Myriapods are arthropods with many pairs of joined legs. Okay, many means it can be more than 8 or 9. Okay, so they have 1 pair of antenna, which means they will have 2 antennas. Okay, millipedes and centipedes are myriapods. Okay, so our point number 1, myriapods are arthropods with many pairs of joined legs, right? Okay, see in this picture. Okay, in this picture this is more clear. You can see that there are many pairs of joined legs, right? If I count, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it has 20 pair of joined legs, which means it has 40 legs. Okay, now the second point, it has 1 pair of antenna, which means 2 antennas. So here in this picture you can see that it has 1 pair of antenna, which means they have 2 antennas, right? Now millipedes and centipedes are myriapods. This is a millipede and this is a centipede. Okay, so we are going to just revise the lecture again, a quick revision. Okay, classifying invertebrate. classification of invertebrates. Invertebrates are animals without backbone. There are many different groups of invertebrates. We will discuss some of them: mollusks, annelids, and arthropods. Mollusks are animals with soft body. They have muscular foot which they use to move around. Okay. Some mollusks have shells. Okay. Mollusks are animals with soft body. Okay. See in this picture, you can see that this mollusk has a very soft body. Okay. It's all meat. Okay. Okay. Then they have muscular foot which they use to move around. Okay. In this picture, you can see that it has a muscular foot which help the snail. Snail is a mollusk which help mollusks to move around. Then some mollusks have shells. Okay. In this picture, you can see that there is a shell present. So some mollusks have shells. Snail, slugs, and octopus are mollusks. In this picture, you can see all: slug, cuttlefish, oyster, squid, limpet, snail, scallop, mussel, octopus, nautilus, clam, winkle. These are all the types of mollusks. And this picture shows skull, muscular foot, eye, and tentacle of a mollusk. Then annelids. Annelids are worms. These are worms with bodies divided up into rings called segments. Okay. You can see in this picture that its body has a lot of lines and each line is called a segment. So we can say that annelids have segmented body. Okay, number 2 point. They don't have legs. You have seen that worms don't have any legs. Okay, they have tiny bristles called chaetae, and earthworm is an example of annelids. In this picture, you can see the chaetae, the small hair-like structures, and these hold the earth when the earthworm moves. Arthropods. Arthropods are invertebrates with joined legs, which means they have pair of legs. Their bodies are divided into segments just like earthworms. And they have skeleton on the outside of their body, which is called exoskeleton. And there are several different groups of arthropods. Number 1, insects. Number 2, arachnids. Number 3, crustaceans. And number 4, myriapods. Insects, these are arthropods with 6 joined legs. Okay. See in this picture that it has an ant. It has 6 joined legs, right? Then their bodies are divided into 3 parts: head, thorax, abdomen. Each of these parts are made up of several segments. Then most insects have 2 pair of wings which are attached to thorax, and their legs are also attached to thorax, and there is 1 pair of antenna on their head. Okay. In this picture, you can see there is head, thorax, and abdomen, and their body is segmented. They have 2 pair of wings, 3 pairs of joined legs, and 1 pair of antenna. Okay. Arachnids have 8 joined legs. Okay. They don't have any wings or antenna, and spiders and scorpions are arthropods. You can see that they have 8 pair of legs. They don't have any antenna or wings. Then crustaceans, these are arthropods with tough skeleton. They have more than 4 pair of joined legs, and they have 2 pair of antennas. Lobster, water flea, and wood lice are crustacean. This is a lobster, this is a water flea, and this is a wood lice. Okay, then we have myriapods. Myriapods are arthropods with many pairs of joint legs. They have one pair of antennae, and millipedes or centipedes are myriapods. Okay, this is a millipede and this is a centipede. Okay, so that is it for today, and congratulations, we have finished our course of biology. So if you have any questions, you can ask me, and best of luck.